Good evening, friends, and welcome to day 197 of a poem a day for 2026. It's Thursday, and as you can possibly tell, one of the chores that I assigned myself last night was to dye my hair. I was sick of the fade out, um, so that meant that because of my poor planning and my terrible timekeeping, um, I had my head over the bath, washing out the colour at 1 a.m. But I'm super happy with it, and while it's not amazing, and obviously there's some colour variation, um, because it was different colours previously. I think it's some of the best colour coverage I've got dyeing my hair myself in years. So yeah, and this is actually the first proper look I've had at it, because I slept in a towel because it was still wet. Um, I tied it up in a top knot, and I've been working all day, and I literally just took it down to switch on the camera today. So yeah, um, I'm in the process of logging off work and trying to get left sorted for training. I really want to go, so I may delve into what money I have to get a taxi. But yeah, enough of a ramble, because I've talked very little today. Just needed to get some words out. So let's on with the poetry. I hope you've all had a good day, and I hope you all managed an earlier night than I did last night. Just the one page today, 16th of July, which I think means I may have said the wrong day at the top of the... I don't know. I think I said 197. That's what I meant to say if I didn't. Anyway, 16th of July, Particle Poems 3 by Edwin Morgan. And our blurb reads as follows. On the 16th of July 1885, after 10 days of treatment, the French scientist Louis Pasteur successfully inoculated a child against rabies for the first time. The principles of vaccination that Pasteur developed have saved countless lives. Millions would be a conservative estimate. Edwin Morgan's poem is a celebration of the apparently mystical principles that scientific discoveries are built upon. Science. So this is Particle Poems 3 by Edwin Morgan. 3 particles lived in mystical union. They made knife, fork, spoon, and earth, sea, and sky. They made animal, vegetable, and mineral, and faith, hope, and charity. They made stop, caution, go, and hickory dickory dock. They made yolk, white, and shell, and hook, line, and sinker. They made pounds, shilling, and pence, and Goneril, Reagan, and Cordelia. They made Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, and game, set, and match. A wandering particle captured one of them, and the 2 that were left made day and night, and left and right and wrong, and black and white, and off and on. But things were never quite the same, and 2 will always yearn for 3. They're after you or me. I love that somebody was so moved by advances in science that they wrote poetry about it. Just like our author the collector of the poetries, said in the blurb, millions of lives saved by vaccinations would be conservative. I do apologise. Yeah, it would be a conservative estimate. I think we're probably pushing into the billions at this point, because it's not just the vaccinated person; it's the herd immunity. So protecting people who are immunocompromised and aren't able to get vaccinated. So making the larger community less likely to get ill by vaccinating them, and therefore making everybody less likely to get ill and protecting the immunocompromised people. Yeah, it just ripples in a pond kind of thing. Science chemistry and biology have kind of joint first place science in my heart. I always really struggled with physics at school. It's fancy maths, and maths was never my strong point. I had to reset my maths GCSE. Got a passing grade on the second time round, but yeah, and there's obviously subsections of science. I've got a wonderful friend who's a geologist. Actually, this has come off my Facebook memories recently. Wonderful friend, she's a geologist. Presented me with this gift a couple of years ago. I'm just gonna give it a wipe because it's been sat on a dusty shelf and I need to dust. I'm not exactly sure what her job is, but she does a lot of kind of like industrial level digs. And of course, obviously, I know her through roller derby. And she came to train with my team one evening because she'd been working in the local area. She works up north. And she presented me with a pot. And she was like, "Look at this." And so I did. And I was like, "That's amazing. What is it?" And she told me that it was a section that had been pulled when they were digging. And that it is fossilized shells, I believe she said. Over like 200 million years old. And I was like, that's incredible. And we had like a fanboy moment about it. And I went to hand it back to her. And she was like, "No, it's for you." And I was like, "Excuse me?" And she was like, "It's for you." This was about a month and a half after I'd separated with my ex. We were still living together at the time. The ending was reasonably amicable, and we went on to live together for a while afterwards while I gathered some money before I moved in here. And she said to me, she was like, "I know that not everybody's as big into geology and stuff as I am." And she was like, "But so I totally get it if you don't want it." And I was like, No, that's not what this is. I was like, "This is incredible." I was like, "This is for me." And she was like, "Yeah." She was like, "I hope that you find somewhere soon and you can put it on a shelf and you can look at it." She was like, "In your own space." And it was one of the first things I unpacked. Trying to do what they do on get it in focus. It doesn't want to do it, but it's all of the white bits are fossilized shell creatures. It's quite heavy. And it's a beautiful. This is smooth, and I love it. And it sits on my TV unit because I spend a lot of time looking at my TV, whether whether I've got music playing through an app on my Xbox and I'm reading, or I'm watching movies or streaming stuff or playing stuff. And it's kind of the focal point of my living room. Yeah. And I look at that, and it's a very tangible reminder of, first and foremost, how loved I am. That somebody was at work and thought, I'm going to give this to Ren. Something that means an awful lot to them. And secondly, that much like with my fun fact the other day about space and where we are at the moment in our rotation in the galaxy and in relation to the Milky Way, that in the best possible way, we are incredibly small. Just we are tiny particles in this cosmos of life. And I think it's, for all of the awful things that are happening at the moment, I think it's pretty phenomenal that we all get to exist at the same time, and that I get to share this wonderful piece of history with you all, and get to share these poems, and just a little bit of time each evening. So yeah. I hadn't expected to make myself cry today. That wasn't on my bingo card. But yeah. Here we are. I am going to go and finish getting ready for training. And when I come home, I'm hoping I will have knackered myself out. And maybe, just maybe, I and we all will be able to get down and have a very good night.